Hello, everyone. I decided not to do a total free speech because I wanted to be as clear as possible. English is not my French language, as you can hear with my French accent. So I wanted to make sure I could explain myself easily without getting stuck on random words. Today, I share a bit about my year here in Padova. But before that, just a quick intro about my background. I studied in Lyon, which is in France, where I did a pluridisciplinary bachelor's degree combining math and computer science applied to human and social sciences, along with cognitive science as what we could call in some academic systems my major, but it was really a 50-50 split, 50% applied math and computer science and 50% cognitive science. So now let's talk about the second year of the NeuroData program here in Italy. This year is part of the cognitive neuroscience and clinical neuropsychology program, which is simply called here in Italy CN2. So at the University of Padova, which is also called UniPD. As the name of this program suggests, the second year is more focused on neuropsychology and the clinical fields in general compared to the other university of the NeuroData program. Here, as NeuroData students, we are in the same courses as the CN2 students, most of whom have a psychology background and want to become psychologists or neuropsychologists. But that doesn't mean you need to have the same career goals if you join the NeuroData here in Italy. This is just to give more like an idea of the study environment. So for the courses, there is a fixed list of courses we can take to complete our credits, but there are some flexibility. Professor Bonato, which is the coordinator of the second year here in Padova, is really open to discussions if we want to take other courses to count for credits within, of course, a certain limit. Besides that, there are many extra courses we can take for additional credits. And then there is also the freedom to just walk into a lecture for the experience, no registration, no credits, just pleasure of learning, discovering. Many courses are in English, but some are in Italian if you want to try. Regarding the internship, it can be a bit challenging to find one in Italy in the clinical field under the supervision of psychologists, especially if, like me, you don't have a psychology degree. But fortunately, Professor Bonato helped us meet someone who met the requirements and was willing to supervise us. So that's really a great relief. No, just don't be worried. People are here to help you. And I can't say much more about this internship because I haven't started yet. I can talk about the thesis either because I haven't started yet. It may look a bit late, I agree, but this brings me to an important point about Italian culture. In general, things can take more time and delays are quite common. Personally, this hasn't been an issue for me since it's exactly the same in France. But I know that for some cultures, this can be a bit difficult to adjust to it at first. And it's also, I think, important to mention that the thesis doesn't have the same importance in every NeuroData university. I know that, for example, in Finland, it has more credits than here in Padova. I think it's something that you should know before. So that's also why I'm maybe a bit less stressed and I can a bit start my thesis a bit later than the students that are currently in Finland. So beyond academics, the language barrier, for example, can be something to work, but only on outside of the university space. So personally, I started learning Italian to become more independent in daily life I recommend doing the same because the courses are free and the teachers, at least mine, already great. And like this, you can really meet Italians. Otherwise, that's okay, but you will mostly meet international students. Speaking about Students International, Erasmus Students Network, I don't know if you heard about it, but you can look on internet. Also, just named ESN. It's a community that is extremely active here in Padova. There are lots of parties, but also trips for tourism outside in Padova and also outside of Padova. For example, I visited Verona with them. Everything was free except just the ticket, the train ticket, which was €8. So really, it's nice. And there is also a big, huge WhatsApp server where you definitely find at least one topic that interests you, if not dozens. For example, there's channel for hiking, one for travel, another one for board games, another one for LGBT community, another one about food, lots of channels. And so you can meet with people that have the same interest. And if you want to do a hike, you can do one at any time because students are always available and they are more than 1,000. You will find friends there. It's really my biggest recommendation is to join this WhatsApp group to meet people who share your interest. And so it will not be possible for you to get bored here in Padova. About the dorms, honestly, it was quite simple for us. We just applied online following the instruction that was given by Chiara, which is our administrator, I would say, the person that works in the administrative here in Padova. And then we got our rooms. It's really important just to note that we cannot choose if we have individual room or shared room. I got lucky, I got an individual room, but you may not be as lucky as me, and you may have to share your room. In this case, if you refuse that, which I totally can understand, just be aware that it's very difficult to find a room here in Padova. And so get close with Chiara to find the best way to not get scammed, because it happens. I talked with some students about that. Otherwise, about culture, food here in Italy is really nice. Personally, when I arrived, there was a festival of dance, so I could see lots of dance shows, which is really important for me. But you can have also some theater things, whether inside of the university or outside of the university. The food around the university campus is quite cheap. I mean, cheap. You can find a sandwich for less than €4, which I think is good. Yeah, I think that's it. Of course, if you have any questions, feel free to send a message to Professor Congreen and to reach. He will give you my contact. It would be a pleasure to help you answer all the questions. And that's it. Thanks for listening.